The game that saw everything. Did millions unknowingly help build a global mapping network with military value? The Pentagon's greatest spy game, or just a tech phenomenon? Explosive claims reignite debate over data collection at scale. Players weren't just catching Pikachu. Did their movements help create detailed real-world maps with strategic applications? Whistleblower sparks controversy with claims that one of the world's biggest games doubled as a massive data-gathering operation. For years, Pokémon Go players roamed streets, parks, cities, and even remote locations in search of digital creatures placed in the real world. Now, a whistleblower claims that some of the data generated by those players may have ended up serving a much larger purpose. Zach Vorhies told RT that millions of gamers may have unknowingly gathered ground-level data useful for military mapping. Zach Vorhies said, and I quote, "I don't think that anybody that was playing Pokémon Go had any vision that their data was going to be used in order to kill people. But that's what it's being used for today. User data was exploited to play a more deadly game, that of warfare." Unquote. Pokémon Go became a global phenomenon after its 2016 launch by San Francisco-based developer Niantic. The game combined smartphone cameras, GPS positioning, and augmented reality to place virtual content in real-world locations. According to Vorhies, the technology's origins can be traced to mapping systems that were developed under Google ownership. He claimed the data helped generate highly detailed ground-level views that satellites alone cannot easily capture. Vorhies argued that such imagery could be used to reconstruct highly accurate three-dimensional terrain models. He also cited reports of players visiting sensitive or restricted locations while attempting to collect rare in-game items. Zach Vorhies said, and I quote, "There's been a lot of reports that a lot of these Pokémon Go players were snooping around foreign military bases. Because there was some sort of very valuable creature that they had to take a snapshot of." Unquote. The whistleblower claimed that Google may have shared comparable forms of mapping data with US defense agencies. RT reported that Vorhies believed such information could augment existing satellite-based reconnaissance capabilities. Vorhies further claimed that leading artificial intelligence companies are deepening their relationships with the Pentagon. He argued that some firms are reducing internal oversight mechanisms in order to accelerate defense-related work. The comments come amid Pentagon disclosures about expanding partnerships with major artificial intelligence developers. Zach Vorhies said, and I quote, "They're fighting Russia on the Eastern Front. They're fighting Iran in the Southern Front. They don't want to have any red tape that stops them from being able to get the maximum military advantage." Unquote. As of now, no public evidence has been presented showing that Pokémon Go user data was used for military operations. Google, Niantic, and US defense officials have not publicly addressed Vorhies' specific allegations. The FBI is conducting a major crackdown on more than a dozen websites alleged to have links to Chinese agents. An operation authorities say targets a covert online ecosystem used to identify, approach, and exploit US contacts for intelligence and influence purposes. Those websites are accused of being actively used by suspected Chinese operatives to recruit both former and current US officials, a tactic that investigators warn could blur the lines between legitimate consultancy work and clandestine collection activities aimed at sensitive policy channels. Several unnamed individuals reportedly operated these sites as fronts for fake consulting companies, creating elaborate cover stories and professional facades designed to appear credible while concealing the network's true sponsors and objectives. According to allegations, the website sought to obtain sensitive information in exchange for payments, effectively turning professional outreach into a transactional intelligence gathering scheme that preyed on financial incentives and career opportunities. CNN reported details of the alleged scheme on June 11th, describing how the operation used sophisticated recruitment techniques and highlighting the broader concern about foreign espionage conducted under commercial pretenses. The recruitment pages advertised roles such as defense analyst and international affairs analyst, job titles crafted to attract individuals with access to classified or policy-relevant knowledge and to lend legitimacy to the outreach. Investigators say the recruiters specifically sought information about US-China ties and sensitive diplomatic flashpoints such as Iran and the Israel-Palestine conflict, topics that could provide Beijing with actionable insights into American strategy and vulnerabilities. Once targets were engaged, recruiters reportedly pressed them for insider or exclusive information, details that would be difficult to obtain through open sources and that could prove valuable for strategic decision-making or covert influence operations. Authorities have identified 7 individuals whom they believe were recruited through the alleged network, a figure that underscores both the reach of the operation and the seriousness with which US counterintelligence agencies are treating the case. The FBI assesses that those running the scheme are based overseas and were operating on behalf of the Chinese government, a conclusion that, if substantiated, would mark the campaign as a state-directed effort to harvest information and shape outcomes from within the United States. The Justice Department said the people behind the websites have denied any links to a foreign government, insisting their operations were independent while investigators continue to probe communications for corroborating evidence and motive. The FBI reported the network used cryptocurrency and foreign bank accounts to fund its operations. A financial pattern officials say was likely designed to obfuscate payments, complicate tracing, and sustain covert recruitment across borders. As of June 11th, it remained unclear whether any classified material had been shared through the alleged plot, with authorities still reviewing digital records, interviewing potential targets, and assessing the sensitivity of information exchanged. This is not the first time a scheme like this has been reported, and counterintelligence officials note that similar patterns of covert recruitment and online deception have appeared in earlier investigations. In 2025, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service released a shocking report detailing a similar operation. The report documented attempts by foreign actors to recruit federal employees, an alert that prompted agencies to heighten vetting and insider threat safeguards. That report alleged foreign operatives sought to capitalize on the Trump administration's mass layoff plans, exploiting fears of job loss by offering seemingly lucrative alternative opportunities to vulnerable personnel. Investigators say conspirators frequently copied data and photos from legitimate companies to produce convincing scam websites, a tactic that made their recruitment pitches appear professional and lowered suspicion among prospective recruits. CNN's story detailing the recent takedown appeared nearly a month after President Trump's bilateral meeting with Xi in Beijing, a timing that has prompted public scrutiny and debate over whether high-level diplomacy and espionage activity sometimes accelerate in parallel. China began flight trials involving the J-35 and J-15T amid reports that both fighter aircraft are nearing carrier-ready status. New footage showed China's Fujian aircraft carrier conducting advanced fighter flight operations during ongoing sea trials. J-15T and J-35 fighters were seen carrying out touch-and-go landings at sea, according to Military Watch magazine. The drills marked an important step toward the Fujian carrier achieving full operational readiness later this year. Touch-and-go operations allowed pilots to practice the most demanding phase of carrier-based flight operations. The PLA's training focused on approach control, deck alignment, and precision touchdown procedures at sea. The exercises also tested Fujian's landing aids, control systems, and coordination between flight and deck crews.